But that's why I welcome this news from the United Kingdom. Here, let me read a bit more. Anyone should be allowed to identify as black, regardless of the color of their skin or background, according to left-wing university leaders. The Universities and Colleges Union has set out its stance in a report on the ongoing row about whether men should be able to self-identify as women and be treated as female regardless of their anatomy. The UCU's position statement did not just stand by its support for self-identification of gender, but also insisted people can choose their own race, saying our rules commit us to ending all forms of discrimination, bigotry, and stereotyping. UCU has a long history of enabling members to self-identify, whether that is being black, disabled, LGBT+, or women. So you can self-identify as being disabled too. Well, I'm disabled. I'm obviously fat. I have a receding hairline. I've come to terms with that. But that's a medical condition, right? What's the fancy word? That's alopecia. I think that's a medical word for slowly going bald. There are people out there who have too much flatulence. Look, I'm being scientific here. I'm using medical words. I didn't say fart. But really, I don't need to be so factual. You can just self-identify. I mean, Jonathan Yaniv does it. He's not just a beautiful woman because he says so, but you see him here, look at him. He claims to be disabled. Look at him riding that mobility scooter and getting a free ride in the government-subsidized handicap bus. But look at this video. You see him there? And look at run like bull, strong like bull. He ran like a bull when he wanted to. And look at him here. This is slightly less funny. Him coming after our David Menzies with a cane. Yeah, you don't need no mobility scooter there, do we? Look at that. What a wacko. He's about as disabled as I am, but he's self-identifying as disabled to get free transportation and probably some sort of income. What are you, some sort of bigot? You're denying that he's disabled? You know, a few years ago, this would have been the stuff of comedy. There's a British comedian. He's Jewish and white, actually. His name is Sacha Baron Cohen. I think he's pretty funny. Here he is playing a character in the great, great, great movie, Talladega Nights.
I give you one option, Monsieur Bobby. As a sign of humility, if you kiss me on the lips now, I will return to Paris and you will never see me again in NASCAR.
The answer is never. Do you hear me? Never, ever!
Well, yes or no?
That's sick.
You gotta see that movie if you haven't seen it. The Legend of Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights. It's funny. That's Sacha Baron Cohen. So he's a white guy. But one of his characters that he plays, he's a Jewish white guy, he pretends to be a black gangster in the UK. And I've seen a ton of guys like this.
Keep it real!
The member for Staines will be banned from the House.
Is it because I is black?
Is it because I is black? I don't even know if he's allowed to make that joke anymore. But that's like his punchline. Whenever he gets in trouble, he says, is it because I is black? Now, he's not black, but he actually presents himself as black. He came through America. He met with a dozen celebrities pretending to interview them. And I think he convinced people he was black just by how he dressed and how he spoke. If he was doing it as a joke. Back then, he was self-identifying as black as a joke. And that was about a decade ago. It's not even a joke now. It's not funny now. You can self-identify as black. The University Council in the UK just said so. So did Rachel Dolezal. Remember who I'm talking about? Pretty white girl who just sort of said, no, I'm black. She actually ran a local chapter of the NAACP until she was found out. NAACP stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And they fired her. But why? Why can't she be black? She probably has 1,024th blackness in her. I like this self-description thing. Because if everyone can be any race of their choosing, it ceases to have any legal power, any legal meaning. That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant Show, which is a show I do every day. I do a monologue, interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at premium.rebelnews.com.